Hey guys, how's it going? This is Tim Brown, and I want to talk to you today about this ideal marketing plan template. So, if you're setting marketing goals for your company, I think that one of the best ways to do that is to put together a strategy brief for yourself and your leadership. You don't have to have a giant company for this to work, and this is an example of how this would work. You can pop your logo in here. This template will allow you to put this all together and make it look nice. You can pop this stuff out here. I'm going to show you a little bit how to do that. So if you actually click into this graphic, you can put your logo in here and move it around, and you could swap out this background image. You could change this text and your date and your company, save it. Excuse me. So the whole idea is that you have a introduction with the synopsis. I think that there's a lot of usefulness to boiling down the three main points of this whole marketing brief for people that just want to scan it. And all of this is built to be swapped out. So if you swap out your core values, your core focus, this is well integrated with the book Traction, or the system, the Entrepreneurial Operating System, or EOS. It's super, super common, this whole Traction EOS system. So I like using systems that other people are familiar with. And the whole idea is that you get your mission, values, and your key performance indicators and your issues all kind of very clear in the first couple pages. It suggests things like naming your process and naming your guarantee or your promise. And I have, writing down what your issues are in your marketing department. And I really like this idea of having personas. But I don't like personas. I mean, if you're in marketing department in a company, you probably know that personas are a little bit overused. So I like boiling down the persona, but also the scenario that a particular person might interact with your company. And I like to call them ideal customers. So this page just explains personas, what personas are, and the point of when you create a persona, you really want to get down to, hey, how is this type of person interacting with our company? And quickly get into what actions you should take to get in front of that ideal customer more often. So that being said, this template, you put a picture of the person, and there's nothing, this is not an outward focusing document, so it's an internal document. So you could actually put your actual ideal customers in here, problems that they have, why they choose us, swap out this picture for a real customer, change the name to that person. And I like identifying them with a little what I want type phrase. So what I want Wanda, and my main driver Molly, and key emotional trigger Kenneth. And then the whole point of these pages is to create content for each step of the funnel. So a huge piece to creating an effective marketing plan is creating either blog posts or pieces of content that can nurture those people down the funnel. So I'm a huge believer in content marketing and content strategy. So for each step of the funnel, you could create pieces of content. So perhaps the awareness, maybe you have more awareness pieces. So what questions are they asking related to you, but they're not yet looking for you yet? And how could you nurture them with this ideal content, or this useful content, excuse me. So put the blog titles up here in these boxes. And then as they get down the funnel, imagine them kind of coming into your sales funnel before they turn into a lead at the bottom of the funnel, or they turn into a customer. So consideration. Now, what are they asking when they're looking for something like you? And then decision. What are they Googling when they're making final decisions? And then final push. What landing pages do you have to convert them and get them to contact you? And then what events I like asking this question. What events do they attend that we could sponsor or speak at? What search, social, editorial avenues have their attention? So what you could say podcasts, what video channels on YouTube, what influencers have their attention that you could be talking to coordinating with them. High value marketing tasks, goals, and habits. So I like figuring out what the 5 most effective habits have been for the past year. And a big way to do that is just to say, all right, let's get our entire list of customers that we got this past year and break it down by, maybe SEO was a big driver of customers. Maybe referrals were a big driver of customers. Actually getting the percentages and getting a huge phantom of marketing is attribution, but it's not that hard. It's not that hard to just make a list of all the customers you got or put it in a spreadsheet and actually just figure out what are the real numbers, what activities created these customers from this past year. So once you figure that out, once you figure out what activities created these customers, my suggestion is to double down on those activities and do twice as much towards them. If you want to grow this next year, double down on those activities. An example ideal customer that I like writing down an example ideal customer that you got from that activity. And what are your weekly habits? Maybe you blogged 2,500 words a week and you earn 3 links back to your blog per month and by guest posting on other people's websites. And then how could you track your effort towards that? So maybe you have a Google spreadsheet of each week or each month for that goal, but it's good to have what I call bumpers towards that goal. So things that will help you remember to do it, even if you're tired or even if, it's good to have accountability and it's good to have tracking on these things. So an example ideal customer, the very specific things that you're going to do towards it and how you're going to track it or how you're going to use bumpers to keep yourself on track. So our 5 highest value marketing tasks have been blogging and SEO, referral partnerships, Facebook and Google paid ads, heavy engagement on social media, and speaking and event marketing. So you could put down your top 5 and some of those attributes related to it. And then maybe here's your budget and next steps. Maybe you're at 3 million in revenue or you want to get to 3 million in revenue. So you need to sell your leadership on $50K marketing budget increase. So what are customers or what are clients like you? What are people like you? What are companies like you doing for budget? So maybe in your industry, maybe it's 5%. So an average might be 5 to 10% on marketing of your revenue. But it's also important if you're trying to sell this up the ladder to project what your expected sales lift will be based on spending more money on marketing. So, based on industry benchmarks, you can, in this template, you can also click through to this link. It's actually at hookagency.com/calculator, but it gives benchmarks for industries and what are companies like you spending. Maybe figure out what the benchmark is, but then also figure out how you can get to the next level. So if you've been spending 5% on marketing, maybe what kind of revenue increase could it mean if you spent 7%? So that's something to think about. Or how could you spend that budget more wisely? And explain all that here. Put your high level numbers here, so somebody who's scanning this could go through it quickly. You might base it on the average ROI for marketing, which is 1-to-5 ratio. So that's your target. You're saying every time we spend $1, we get $5 return. Every time we spend $100,000, we want to get $500,000 revenue back. And then write down your next steps. So what are your hires? What are you going to outsource? you're increasing expenses and why, you're decreasing expenses. Maybe you've been doing a lot of print, but now it's time to switch that into digital, and your to-dos for the next month. So setting some really short-term goals next to get the ball rolling on this stuff. So I hope this is useful to you, or maybe just the discussion is useful to you about what your ideal marketing will be and what your goals for your marketing will be for this next year. And I hope that you have an amazing year, and yeah, appreciate you watching the video. Bye.